The hidden room behind Westfield, High's auditorium, wasn't on any blueprint. At least, that's what the principal told everyone after it was discovered. The strange thing is that the room wasn't found by construction workers, maintenance staff, or anyone who should have known the building better than students. It was found completely by accident. 3 weeks before the annual school play, rehearsals were running late. The cast and stage crew were helping move old props that had been sitting behind the auditorium stage for years. One of the students, a junior named Ethan, was dragging a large wooden cabinet across the floor when one of its corners slammed into the wall. Instead of hitting solid concrete, the wall shifted. Everyone stopped. Ethan pushed against it again. The section of wall moved slightly inward. It wasn't a wall. It was a panel. Curiosity quickly replaced caution. A few students grabbed their phone flashlights and pulled the panel open. Behind it was a narrow passage. The opening was just wide enough for someone to squeeze through. The tunnel stretched into darkness. At first, everyone assumed it was some kind of maintenance access corridor. The school was over 60 years old. Hidden utility spaces weren't impossible. Still, something felt wrong. The passage wasn't dusty. There were footprints, fresh ones. Ethan noticed them first. The dust on the floor had been disturbed recently. Someone had walked through there. Several times. The group followed the passage deeper into the wall. After nearly 30 feet, it opened into a hidden room. Nobody spoke. The room looked lived in. A mattress sat against one wall. There were blankets, bottled water, food wrappers, a portable lantern. Someone had been staying there. Not years ago. Recently. One of the students nervously laughed and suggested it was probably a homeless person. That explanation lasted less than 10 seconds. Then someone pointed their flashlight toward the walls. Photographs covered nearly every surface. Hundreds of them. Students walking through hallways. Students sitting in classrooms. Students eating lunch. Students arriving in the morning. Students leaving in the afternoon. Some photos were blurry. Others were perfectly clear. Many appeared to have been taken from surprisingly close distances. Close enough that the photographer should have been noticed. Yet nobody recognized the person behind the camera. The atmosphere changed immediately. The room no longer felt abandoned. It felt occupied, as if whoever had been living there might return at any moment. The students left and reported everything to school staff. Within an hour, police officers arrived. The room was searched. The photographs were collected. The mattress was removed. Investigators examined every inch of the space. Yet they found almost nothing. No identification. No useful fingerprints. No clues explaining who had been there. The discovery spread through the school overnight. By the next morning, everyone was talking about it. Rumors exploded. Some students claimed they had occasionally heard strange noises in the auditorium after school. Others remembered seeing doors that seemed to open and close on their own. A few insisted they had caught glimpses of someone watching from distant hallways. Most people dismissed those stories, until more details about the photographs became public. Many of the pictures had been taken over several years. The dates proved it. Whoever had been responsible wasn't a recent intruder. They had apparently been inside or around the school for a very long time. That realization terrified everyone. For several days, attendance dropped noticeably. Parents complained. Students felt uncomfortable. Teachers tried to reassure everyone that the situation was under control, but the feeling never completely disappeared, especially after investigators discovered something else. Among the photographs were images that shouldn't have been possible. Pictures taken from inside classrooms during lessons. Pictures taken from angles where no student or staff member should have been standing. Pictures taken through tiny openings nobody had ever noticed before. The school launched a full inspection. Workers began searching walls, ceilings, storage areas, and maintenance spaces. They found nothing. No secret entrances. No hidden tunnels. No additional rooms. Eventually, the investigation slowed. Weeks passed. Life returned to normal. At least that's what everyone thought. Then a teacher named Mr. Calloway stayed late one Thursday evening. He was grading assignments in his classroom when he heard a metallic sound somewhere down the hallway. It wasn't loud, just a brief clank, like a vent cover being moved. He ignored it. A few minutes later, he heard it again. This time it came from closer. Mr. Calloway stepped into the hallway. The building was empty. Most of the lights had already been turned off. Everything seemed normal. As he started walking back toward his room, he noticed something strange. A door at the end of the corridor slowly closed. Not slammed, closed, as if someone had just stepped through it. Mr. Calloway immediately reported the incident. Police returned. The school was searched again. No one was found, but investigators noticed something during the search. A storage room near the auditorium had recently been disturbed. Boxes had been moved. Dust patterns had changed. Something wasn't right. After several hours of inspection, workers discovered another concealed opening hidden behind shelving units. The opening led into a second network of passages. Unlike the first tunnel, these stretched beneath large portions of the school. Nobody knew they existed. The tunnels eventually led to another room. What officers found inside made the first discovery look minor. The walls were covered with photographs again. But these were newer. Much newer. Pictures showed police officers investigating the original hidden room. Pictures showed news crews interviewing students outside the building. Pictures showed parents attending school meetings. Pictures showed people discussing the case. Whoever had been hiding there had continued watching everyone after the first room was discovered. They hadn't escaped. They had simply moved. The room contained notebooks as well. Most were filled with dates, times, schedules, observations, students arriving, teachers leaving, sport practices, club meetings, years of records. The notebooks suggested a level of obsession that investigators found deeply disturbing. Yet there was still no name, no clear suspect, no explanation, just evidence that someone had spent years secretly observing the people inside the school. Summer arrived. The district approved extensive renovations. Entire sections of the auditorium were demolished. Walls were opened. Floors were removed. Ceilings were inspected. Workers hoped they would finally discover who had built the tunnels. Instead, they uncovered something even more unsettling. Throughout the building were dozens of hidden observation points, tiny openings concealed behind vents, inside light fixtures, behind decorative wall panels. Some overlooked classrooms, others overlooked hallways. A few provided direct views into staff offices. Many appeared extremely old, old enough that nobody could determine when they had been created. The discovery sparked another investigation. Again, it led nowhere. No suspect was ever identified. No arrests were made. Eventually, the case faded from public attention. The renovations finished. Students returned. Life moved on. For nearly a year, nothing unusual happened. Then one afternoon, a maintenance worker repairing an air vent near a science classroom noticed something inside. At first, he thought it was trash. He reached in and pulled it out. It was a photograph. The image showed a student sitting at their desk during class. The picture was perfectly clear. Recent. Investigators later estimated it had been taken less than a week earlier. The photograph should have been impossible. Every tunnel had been destroyed. Every hidden room had been removed. Every observation point had supposedly been sealed. Yet someone had still managed to take the picture. Police searched the school one final time. Nothing was found. No hidden spaces. No intruder. No explanation. The photograph remains the last piece of evidence ever recovered. As far as the public knows, the person who spent years secretly watching Westfield High was never identified. And according to school records, that science classroom is located in the only section of the building that was never renovated.